Hey everyone, what's up? It's the Putting You On podcast. I'm Ceci. I'm gonna put you on. Someone just put me on. Steven Crowder, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I just can't stand this dude. And now it feels like he's writing Charlie Kirk's, murdered coattails. He's at SMU doing a change my mind debate that the left is violent. So just I can't. I can't stand him. Grifter, and on top of it, like he's grifting off his friend's death using his literally the left is violent, change my mind. Well, let's see.
Welcome back to Change My Mind. It's been a while. This is the place where we rationalize, we reason our positions on controversial topics.
It's so funny too because I actually forgot for a second that he did do the change my mind thing before. But now he's using his friend's death as a talking point. It's just like it's gross. And it's also the left is violent. Like, dude, I'm so tired of everyone saying the left is violent. Well, we know statistically that's not true. Facts matter, people. I wish people would fucking face the facts, and then change them with your own individual behavior. Don't be a dickhead.
Topics. When I created Change My Mind in 2017, I had one goal in mind, and that was to shine a light on the institutions that had failed Americans. Often students propagandized by the educational system.
Steven Crowder's just a troll.
And so, nearly a decade later, with billions of plays, countless discussions, inspired student iterations, one meme of the year, and yes, even a few changed minds later,
I somewhat changed your mind.
Change My Mind had grown far bigger than I ever initially anticipated. And with that came pushback, controversy, increasing hostility, and yes, straight up violence.
Nope.
Steven Crowder's an agitator. That's what he likes to do. This is like instigating. That's what he likes to do. He likes to instigate and poke. He's the person who's like, oh, but I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And it's like, dude, you are invading my personal space, though. Like, that's how he is. Like, as a kid, I could see him being the one.
Piece of living garbage ass dumpster fire.
It got to the point where security became a serious issue. And so I pulled back. Now, given recent events, however, I felt led, compelled even, to bring it back. Voices like ours, and I mean ours, can't be silenced. And I say this to you watching on the left. Made me do this. I didn't necessarily want to, and everyone told me that this...
Then don't. Then don't. I didn't really want to have to come out and do this again. Then don't. Then don't. We'd be fine with you not doing this again.
In today's climate, could not be done unless I took unbelievable precautions, unless it...
No one is asking for you to do this. No one is asking for you to do this. And I love the bulletproof vest. He's going out. He's going into war. Yeah, these motherfuckers love to act like they're at war. All they do is wage war on women, wage war on trans people, wage war on immigrants. They wage war on people that are weaker than them already, that they think that are. And, yeah, this is bullshit. What the fuck?
It was absolutely kept a secret until mere hours before the event as a pop-up, unless I literally brought an army with me and bulletproofed the entire radius.
He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to do that. Destiny is still doing his debate tour, not wearing any kind of anything. And also, if he really wanted to do this and be safe and not act like a drama queen, because that's what this is just for the cameras, he could have it inside. They can wand people in. You can still have these debates. We're still going to have discourse. People, like, most of us are not okay with the murder of Charlie Kirk, okay? Like, let's be real here. Most of us aren't okay with murder. So just have a controlled environment. We just can't have them outdoors, whatever, for a while, I guess. I don't know what to say. But this shit is so for the cameras. It's just gross.
Which is exactly
or he's a pussy.
What we did.
So strong.
And so today, for the first time in many years, Change My Mind returns, and back to one of the places where it all began, Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. Today's subject is plain and simple. The left is violent. Will anybody be able to...
I love that he's in a red fucking state, a red-ass state, right? With all the security and blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't he feel so safe there? Because it isn't the left that's violent, but you're in a red state right now. So shouldn't you just feel so cozy?
Change my mind.
At this rate.
Thank you, Christina, for sitting down. Stephen.
Highest murder rates right now. What is it? Louisiana. Hey. That in Alabama, I believe.
Stephen.
Stephen.
Yes. Okay.
So I'll take that. I mean, you're not maybe super familiar with what we do with these this series. Let me just kind of clarify what it is. First, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not gotcha. It's not clickbait. This is not meant to be, or it won't be used to clip into some kind of a dunk or something to just foment people espousing the same rhetoric on one side. It will be uploaded contextually in its entirety, where hopefully we have a productive discussion.
Yes.
We rationalize our positions, reason them on controversial topics. Before I get to the premise of today, could you do me a favor just so we can find some common ground?
Yeah.
This is what's being cited right now quite a bit. Just the definition of political violence. I want to make sure we both agree on it.
Political violence are criminal complaints, indictments, and court records looking for crimes that seek a socio-political change or to communicate to outside audience.
And I'll summarize it. If that's the technical
Yeah,
description from the
okay.
source.
I feel like that doesn't fit political violence. I don't know if I would say that that's the definition for political violence. I mean, definition. Let's see. I don't know what they would say. I mean, I don't like his definition is very poignant, and it's very because he's going to use it for something. It's not. I don't like that definition for political violence. There is which is perpetrated in order to achieve political goals. It can include violence which is used by state against other states, violence which is used by a state against civilians and non-state actors, psychological warfare, police brutality, targeted killings, torture, ethnic cleansing, or genocide, and violence which is used by violent non-state actors against states and civilians. Okay, I can also describe political motivated violence, which is used by violent non-state actors against a rebellion, rioting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely political violence, I would say, is violence that's being taken out in the name of a political party or to achieve a political goal, or it's politically motivated. Where his definition, I want to hear it one more time because the project examines criminal complaints, indictments, and court records looking for crimes that seek a socio-political change or to communicate to outside audiences. See, there's where it's like, wait, what? Okay, a socio-political change. Okay, so you have a political motivation. You're trying to have a political change or to communicate to outside audiences. And see, that's where it's like, wait, what? For me, I'm like, I don't, just doesn't feel, that feels disingenuous. Does that make sense? I just feel like this is lacking, but for a reason. Like I just don't.
To outside audience.
And I'll summarize it. If that's the technical
Yeah,
description from the
okay.
source cited.
Yeah.
It's violence as a tool being used toward a political end. In other words, just because you vote Democrat or because you vote Republican, if you accidentally hit someone with your car and commit manslaughter, that's not political violence.
Duh.
If you
Okay.
vote Democrat, but let's say you go out and run someone over because of their politics, that would be political. Do we agree on that?
I think I can agree with you on that.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Did he just say that?
That would be political. Do we agree on that? You go out and run someone manslaughter, that's not political violence. If you vote Democrat, but let's say you go out and run someone over because of their politics, that would be political. Do we agree?
It doesn't matter how you vote if you don't do it, but if you vote for, you see how he worded that, right? Okay.
Agree on that?
I think I can agree with you on that.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So the premise today is that particularly today in 2025, by and large, the political violence is coming from the left. It's not proportionate with that on the right. That's the reason for the security that you see today that's very necessary. And it's a problem that's reaching a boiling point that may not be sustainable. If you disagree with me, you're welcome to change my mind.
I don't know if I can change your mind because here's the thing. When I see the sign that says the left is violent, and you talked about how it's not proportional, and I'd love to see your statistics about that because we could make the same statement about the right very easily, right? Like we could say that it was it just a month or two ago that the Democratic lawmakers were shot, and that was like, all right. I think our bigger problem is that the
You're talking about the
media.
Hortmans in Minnesota, right?
Right, yeah, because she was a senator and her husband was also killed, and like that
Nancy Pelosi's husband struck in the head with a hammer in his own home. Like, what the fuck?
was done by the right, whatever. But
It wasn't, but continue.
oh, that wasn't a
No.
it wasn't a conservative or
No, that's why I used the example that I did. The person, Vance Bolter, who committed it, specifically said it had nothing to do with politics, and he left a letter reasoning it, saying that Tim Walz had ordered him to carry a hit out on people. So he was very clear that
Bullshit. What was he registered as? I guarantee he was registered as a Republican. This was, again, there just happened to be politicians, and Tim Walz and fuck off. This was the right committing political violence. Stephen Crowder's
it wasn't in the name of politics. That's someone who happened to be, on some issues, Republican, on some issues, Democrat. And he was appointed by a Tim Walz administration.
This is what they do. This is what they fucking do, because she can't sit there on her phone and be like, let me just verify this before I argue with you, right? Fuck them. Just, if you think they're lying, just say you're lying. You need to show me. Pull it up, because this is bullshit. Do not let people pass stuff. Just because you can't debunk it, that doesn't mean what they're telling you is real. Tell them to prove it. Fuck that.
So that was not done in the name of political violence. He said Tim Walz ordered him to assassinate somebody who was out of his mind. But I'd like you to continue with the...
So that's political violence, because he thought it was a hit that he was supposed to do because a politician told him to. He was out of his mind, correct. Most of these people are out of their fucking minds. I hate Steven Crowder. Did I mention that? I can't stand him.
The example.
Sure. And let's say, okay, so he wasn't right. That's fine.
No, it wasn't political violence.
Wasn't political. Oh, it didn't count as political violence.
Based on the definition you agreed to, right?
Yeah.
And there it is, because that's the definition that you agreed to, right? Exactly what I said. That shit left so much on the table that he could go ahead and now use and go, but you agreed. You agreed earlier to this. Exactly why you have to be like, nah, you know what? I don't like that definition, because I didn't. I looked it up. I was like, I don't feel like this is enough. This is real wobbly, weak. And look at it. Do you see his face? Oh, yep. Gotcha. Stupid.
He was out of his mind. But I'd like you to continue with the example.
Sure. And let's say, okay, so he wasn't right. That's fine.
No, it wasn't political violence.
Wasn't political. Oh, it didn't count as political violence.
Based on the definition you agreed to, right?
Yeah. And I think a lot of it too is there's so many things happening. It's actually really hard to get all the.
Do you see the way he picks up his stupid mug so you can see louder, Crowder? Asshole.
Facts about everything.
Sure.
And our media is when they make these statements where they start to postulate about an event, and it will become political before we've even fully fleshed everything out, like.
Could you give me an example?
Well, like the shooting that happened at the church yesterday. I haven't seen enough. I don't know. Have you seen any media on it yet? I'm curious to know what the media is saying
quite a bit
about it, and I want to know if how are they characterizing it?
Yeah, the media isn't characterizing, even I will say this, even on the left and the right, they're not really characterizing that as political violence.
Okay.
Because it was a guy who really seemed to harbor ill will toward the Mormon church. So it's pretty hard to categorize it as political violence when the targets were largely conservative and the man who carried out the action seems like he might be a Republican. But I think we can pick him.
Oh, because it was a Republican that did it. It can't be considered political violence. I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know what the motivation was. And I'm not saying it was political, because it was done in a church, and I don't know where this guy was religiously. But, dude, they're just, if this was a guy on the left who shot up this church, they would immediately say it was political violence, period. They would say it was political violence, period. That's the problem here. Yay, good on them for not calling it political violence when we're not sure if it is yet. But they're only doing that because the motherfucker is a Republican. White man again.
A more clear example, a multitude of them. The reason we're here, and I don't think you would argue that this is unnecessary, the assassination in cold blood is an act of terrorism of Charlie Kirk. Is that political violence?
We don't know. We don't know, because as political as he was, he's also that religious. So maybe this was just another shooting because someone didn't like the religion. Could be not political. We don't know.
You seem so confident on the Hortmans, but not Charlie Kirk.
I was just thinking about your question.
The Hortmans were politicians. Charlie Kirk was not a politician.
I
don't know what was politically gained here for someone to do that. I mean, I know that the right is gaining. The right's gained a lot from this. A lot of people gained a lot from his death, but no one on the left. No. People have gained things. They're all on the right.
Probably because he was like Turning Point USA is a conservative organization, right? That's meant to try and rally young conservatives and be involved. And so, yeah, I would probably agree that his death was political, or his murder, assassination was politically violent.
No, you don't know that. We don't know the motive. You do not know the fucking motive. God damn it. Stop giving in to their bullshit. And also, even if you do think it was political, you don't need to say that in this moment. You could just go, we don't know yet. We don't fucking know yet. Don't.
But I guess I just have a hard time reconciling that with, we can say that the senator and her husband being killed wasn't political, but,
I'll tell you exactly why. I'll tell you exactly why. Because the express motive of the terrorist who assassinated Charlie Kirk was politics. He killed him because he said he's one of those hateful conservative right-wingers. The rhetoric that he espoused, the reason that he killed Charlie Kirk, was to take out someone of his political persuasion and make others of his political persuasion afraid to express their opinions.
When was that said by Tyler Robinson? Was that actually said by Tyler Robinson? Were those his words? Yeah, the roommate, this is all that we do know. And again, I don't know if this is real. These text messages were so fucking bizarre. But yeah, one question, why? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. That's what he said. He didn't say shit. Steven Crowder is a liar, and that's what he's doing. He's lying to this woman, putting words in his mouth that weren't there. I was gonna say Tyler Robinson has barely spoken. We need to hear from him more.
Man who assassinated, which I roundly condemn, Vance Bolter, the Hortmans, did not do it as a means to a political end. Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He is not an elected official.
Well, technically, he did do it as a means to an end politically because he thought Tim Walz, who was a politician, told him to go do that. Even if he was out of his mind, he did it politically driven. To them because they're politicians or because a politician told them to, right? If you're going to get on the fucking Steven Crowder crazy train.
Solely because of his political perspective as a method to instill terror in the populace.
Yeah.
How do I know? Because the person said it was political violence.
Okay, what if we just don't even have enough information?
Did not say that.
Though, what if it is politically motivated and we just don't have enough to know about it yet?
In that case, we do.
Well, not in this particular instance, but I just mean with the Hortmans you mentioned.
Okay, well, let's separate the gray area.
Okay.
Right, that's why I kind of start with the example. Just because I would assume, let's say, vote Democrat or Republican, just because you commit a crime doesn't make it political violence. I mean, if we did that, we'd have 90% of the crime being committed on behalf of the Democrat Party because most people in inner cities vote Democrat. I don't consider that to be political violence. Mm-hmm. People have political beliefs. When people commit violence, sometimes they rob a store because they want money. People who commit political violence do so specifically to instill fear in political opposition. They specifically commit violence as a means to a political end.
Okay.
And when we categorize it that way, it's overwhelmingly coming from the left. We do have the sources here that we make this available.
I don't understand that justification for why it's mainly on the left then. Still, even with the political violence that we have decided is political violence throughout history, the right is overwhelmingly the majority of the people that carry out these violent acts. We know this. What the fuck is he talking about?
So you can take the QR code. So what would make you, because you seem very confident the Hortmans was political violence, and then it's nuanced with Charlie Kirk. Why?
Oh, I didn't say it was nuanced at all with Charlie Kirk. I agreed with you after considering your question that it was a political.
If that doesn't constitute political violence that could be answered in the affirmative immediately, of course, what would? What would be required to say, oh, this is clearly an act of political violence or political terrorism? If not Charlie Kirk.
I agreed that it was political violence, so I'm not sure where this question is coming from.
Well, I'm saying because you came in and pointed to an example that would be in the gray area, the Hortmans, and took a long time to agree with that premise of Charlie Kirk. And so what if we don't know enough information? So Charlie Kirk would be very clear left-wing political violence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Great.
No, it's not very clear because one, we don't know where he stood politically. Two, we don't know if this was politically motivated because as political as Charlie Kirk was, he was also that religious. Also, this kid grew up in a Christian, MAGA, gun-toting fucking family. Okay, you want to talk about indoctrination? You want to talk about growing up with an influence that might make you do something? She's weak. This is weak. I can't stop giving into this stupid shit.
Yes.
So there are more examples of that coming from the left than the right.
No.
That's the premise, yes.
Okay. So you're saying clear examples of political violence. I hear you using clear
violence
examples.
carried out as a means to a political end.
So there's clear information, data that shows us that the left is violent or is more violent than the right.
Yes.
So are we just not calling it political violence on the right because we're just going to give into the fact that they're out of their fucking minds? Is that what it is? Like, we're going to say, oh, well, they're crazy. They're nuts. Like the guy with the Hortmans. Well, he was out of his mind. Yeah, you are all out of your mind, but that doesn't mean that it's not political violence. And again, that doesn't change statistics. I can't.
Not only in crime statistics, but also in the polling after Charlie Kirk's death. Now, I believe that you're discussing this in good faith, and I would assume that you roundly condemn political violence of all stripes.
He's
So do
not.
I. Just to be clear, I think we both are. That's why we're sitting at a table having a conversation.
Right.
Do you identify as more liberal or conservative?
I like to think I'm moderate because I have.
I knew that she was going to do that. I knew this bitch was going to go ahead and say, oh, I'm a moderate. Fuck you. I can tell by your jewelry, by your t-shirt, by your mustache that you are on the left.
I hold some conservative views and some liberal views.
Okay.
And I wish we could have a little bit more moderation in our country.
Like sitting down and having discussions?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like things like this.
Because we get killed for it anyway.
Right.
And
Yeah.
only the right. Only the right gets killed for this anyway.
That's not true.
You're seeing the one that got through. The reason I stopped doing
Oh my God. Is she literally going to let him get away with saying that? And we're the ones who die. It's just the right who dies. It's just the right. We're the only ones who are we're persecuted. You know what? I'm so sick about the fucking right. They always want to be victims and warriors all at the same time. Yeah, stroke me.
doing this for years is because every single time out was a violent attack. Sometimes it was a rock. Sometimes it was a milkshake. Could be concrete, acid, chocolate, vanilla. I don't know. Doxing, fire bombings, Molotov cocktails. Maya Angelou spoke at SMU only a few years before my first time here. Didn't need this kind of security. And you can see.
Oh, well, you're not. This motherfucker did not just put himself in the same category as fucking Maya Angelou. Yeah, we know why she doesn't need the same security as you. Is he fucking... Did I mention I can't stand Steven Crowder?
If you observe your speakers here. And I'll tell you why that is. If you look at the polls post-assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you label yourself as a moderate, those who identify as liberal support political violence at a ratio of 6-1 to conservatives. The YouGov poll said it's...
We know that this is not true. I cannot fucking handle this dumb shit. I can't. Oh my God. Right versus left political. Okay, so let's see here. By the numbers, CSIS compiled and analyzed a data set of 750 domestic attacks and plots from 1994 to 2025, so 30-year span, categorizing them into the right, left, jihadist, ethno-nationalist, and other, okay? The data showed that left-wing extremists have carried out 41 attacks since 2016, compared with 152 from the far right over the same period of time. 41 to 152 left to right violence, okay? Left-wing violence has killed 13 people over the past decade, far fewer than the 112 deaths from right-wing attacks, and 82 from jihadists. 112 from the right wing, 82 from jihadists. The right, still more violence. But at least, but at least 5 left-wing plots or attacks have already been recorded this year, compared to just 1 on the right wing. Okay, so right now, this year, the left is leading the way in political violence. But that's the first time ever. And it's still staggering. Oh my God, 5-1, which, I'm sorry, 41 to 152. Come on. I mean, that's almost 4 times the amount. So there you have it. He's an idiot. They're all full of shit. And this woman, I'm so, ugh.
Political violence acceptable. 77% of conservatives said not at all. Only 38% of those on the left said not at all. 62% of those on the left said somewhat to completely acceptable. We see the same stats after the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. We see the same stats after the firebombings of the Tesla dealership. And we see the same stats on the opposite side, those on the right, roundly condemning political violence. The lowest you'll find is 72. You usually find it in the high 80s. You will not find a number that breaks half on the left.
Okay, you mentioned Donald Trump. Can we jump to that for just a minute?
Donald Trump, sure, I assume we would.
Well, because I thought that guy was a registered Republican, and then he maybe
Which guy?
donated the guy who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I'm really terrible at names.
Oh, Crooks.
Yeah, that he was a registered Republican. So would you consider him a act of violence on the
I would,
on the right?
I would consider the attempted assassination of a presidential nominee political violence, yes.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, there are a lot of people on the right who don't like Donald Trump.
Yes, I do know a few of them.
Did he not just say, let's hear what he
A act of violence on the
I would,
on the right?
I would consider the attempted assassination of a presidential nominee political violence, yes.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, there are a lot of people on the right who don't like Donald Trump.
Yes, I do know a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Political violence isn't just Republican Democrat. That's why I say left versus right.
Okay.
Oh, so if it's the right committing it against the right, then that cancels each other out and then it's just automatically left? What the fuck is he talking about?
Those on the right are more routinely targets. And it's very blatant.
So that's what makes it left or right political violence? The victim decides if it was left or right? Like, is that what he's saying?
People can say it was a registered Republican. That doesn't change the fact that it was an act of political violence
Yes.
carried out against Donald Trump, who's a conservative.
Yes.
So what is the deciding factor for political violence determining whether it's left or right? Is it the victim, whether they sat on the left or right, or is it the perpetrator and where their beliefs sat? Because the guys that attempted to kill Trump were both registered Republicans, but not only that though, they were Trumpers. That was right political violence. Okay.
Republican, whatever term you want to use.
Well, I guess what if the argument is the left is violent, and I was
Yes.
thinking about this guy's, political background from the person. I hear what you're saying that the right is targeted more often.
Yeah, we're the victims of political violence.
More
And by
often.
your own as well.
And
Much more.
So, would you classify that specific incident as violence of the right or of the left?
Well, the target is the right. The target was Donald Trump. So the net result is the same. We are often the targets of violence,
Yeah, but the left,
including someone who may be a moderate Republican. Yeah, the left is still overwhelmingly violent. And I point to those polls.
Okay, I can't. Oh my god, the fact that she's not ripping into him right now. That was the dumbest fucking, this is backwards ass, like, come on.
That you can peruse from YouGov, from Reuters, not bastions of conservatism, along with the rhetoric since then. Here's the one thing that you can't point me to.
Victim. Steven Crowder is a professional troll and a professional victim, okay? And then he's gonna put on his Kevlar, he's gonna be this tough guy. Bro, you're a pussy who's just waging war on people that you think are weaker than you. Women, transgenders, gays, he's a fucking loser ass pussy who lies to make his points, who is always gonna be arguing in bad faith, and you shouldn't give in 1 fucking inch to this dude. Everything he has said so far is a lie.
And we can go through the stats. And I know.
And just changing things a little bit to conveniently fit when he needs it to fit. We know the name of the game here. This woman just isn't equipped, and that's fine. I get it. Okay, she wasn't expecting to see Steven Crowder. I get it. But use your head. Like, he just literally called it political violence on the left. But the person who it was done against was on the right, and the person who committed the violence was also on the right. How does that have anything to do with the left if you want to be just like dumb about it and keep it super simple?
Oh, you've probably heard from those on the left, but actually there's more right-wing political violence. They're often circulating that right now. I can disabuse you of that notion relatively quickly. I think we'd find common ground there. You still can't point me to an example that is comparable on the right of Charlie Kirk, someone who was not an elected official, a public figure who was really notable for nothing more than expressing his opinion and having conversations, who was assassinated in cold blood and then gleefully celebrated thereafter from the left.
Okay, name one other Republican. Name one other Republican, because this is a different case. This is obviously not the usual assassination. This isn't the usual target. Nothing about this is normal. So when they're like, give me an example. Well, give me one more. Give me one other fucking example on the right. Fucking twat.
Someone who's moderate, you understand why that's so concerning to us on the right. When we host vigils and memorials, and the left is so completely fearless of their own consequences that they kill one of ours and show up to the memorials and vigils and desecrate and vandalize. That is the information that creates powder keg.
Yeah.
The only one.
People were celebrating the death of George Floyd. People were making memes and shit. It wasn't funny, but they did that. The right did that. Now, I'm not saying George Floyd is in the same category as Charlie Kirk, but I'm saying that if he's going to talk about deaths being celebrated politically by the left or the right, that was there too.
off-ramp would have been, hey, we kept saying that people like Charlie Kirk, by the way, he was much more moderate than I am. I am Genghis Khan or Attila the Hun compared to Charlie Kirk, but I will have conversations with anyone. I just want to be very clear. So I know that plenty of people would gleefully celebrate.
So, however big an asshole you think that Charlie Kirk was, I'm a bigger asshole.
My death, my murder for doing this exact same thing. The only off-ramp would have been the left saying, look, we've called Donald Trump and his voters and Charlie Kirk and Steven Crowder and whoever on the right, Tucker Carlson, take your pick, Sargon of Akkad, everyone. Ben Shapiro, we've called them fascists, we've called them Nazis, we've said that they want to commit a genocide because they don't want to transition children. We've called them racist because they support the police in an era of defund the police. And my God, people out there actually believe it. It's incumbent upon us to tone this down and say, you know what? They're not fascists. We make these people believe that this guy would never relinquish the reins of power. How do you deal with fascists? You can't do it at a ballot box. If I believed that there was an actual government right now that was executing blacks, as the left has said about the police force, if I believed that there was a leftist government that was actually fascist, that would jail any and all political dissidents, if I believed that the left was committing a genocide against white conservative Christian men, and if I believed that that administration would never host a democratic election again, I'd be out in the streets with a gun. You have a huge portion of Democrats who...
Okay, Steven Crowder said it. Get to work, folks, because that's exactly what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. He's just not seeing it because it's benefiting him and his side. He drops the left in a little bit. Like, if the left was, you know, well, the right is. You stupid fuck, and it's going to turn around and bite you in the ass.
Believe that about Donald Trump and his voters.
Yeah, I mean, I believe you saying that people believe that. Absolutely.
That's very different between the right and the left, isn't it?
No.
I mean,
No.
I don't know, Steven.
Yeah, they're
It
very
feels
different.
like
The right is violent.
it's so polarized right now. It's even hard to find common ground on anything. You know, like I was just thinking about the sign, and it's that the left is violent.
Yes.
Then when I sit down, it's actually the left is politically violent, and so it's kind of it's a modifier, right? We're modifying our conversation a little bit, and so.
No, what I'm doing is matching the intensity and the rhetoric of the left. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden said the right is violent. The political right is violent. And I'm doing
41 attacks by the left, 152 by the right. Stats.
what they are unwilling to do, which is sit down and have a conversation. I don't believe it's nuanced. I believe there's black and white, pretty clear-cut good and evil in this one. I believe there's pretty black and white, clear-cut who's responsible for the political violence. But I will discuss it with anybody. So did Charlie Kirk. And they kill us anyway. So I'm matching their rhetoric that I can fit on a sign, but I'm doing the work that the left is not willing to do and having a conversation. But I don't know where we go from if we have these conversations and short of a brigade coming in, we get assassinated. The left doesn't fear that.
I would disagree, though. I think the left does have their own fear.
The left doesn't fear that? I'm sorry. How do you think transgender people are feeling right now? Fearful. How do you think maybe some immigrants are feeling? Fearful. If you're brown, you have certain tattoos, you're fearful. If you're gay, you're fearful. If you're a woman, I mean, your rights protect. He's an idiot. He's an idiot who lives in a bubble. He wants to be a victim. I was looking up. The left doesn't fear that. They don't have to. Just us. Oh, poor you, Steven.
About it. Maybe it's not exactly the same, but I think there's a lot of fear out there. It's just different.
The leftist speakers on this campus don't need the same kind of security. They don't.
What are the leftist speakers saying in compared to the right? What are they saying? If you walk around like fucking Charlie Kirk and you sitting there want to say that black women don't have the same brain power as the rest of us, or you want to sit there and say, oh yeah, if they were black, I'd question their qualifications, or oh yeah, women should just go get their MRS degrees. When you're walking around using this change my mind as a guise to spread your hate speech, yeah, fuck you. I could be upset by it and I could sit down and tell you to suck my dick.
Take note of that.
And then what's he going to do? He's going to cry about his feelings. But you're sitting here saying hateful shit.
I've been a student here for 2 years, and I hadn't even paid that much attention. I don't go to a whole lot of events, but I'll take note of that and see what I notice. So,
well, let me ask you this: assuming that I'm not lying to you, right, about these polls, and this is one thing we always, every show that I do, I'm largely a comedian, by the way. I'm an unwilling participant in this. I want to be telling dick jokes in a comedy club.
He's not a comedian. He's not fucking funny at all. I'm a comedian. He's not. No.
Comedy too, actually.
Oh, good. Okay. Do you do some around here?
I do.
You might know my half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond. He does a lot of stand-up in Dallas right now. He has a show coming up.
Cool.
Well, let me know. Maybe I'll be able to look it up, and I can't come out and see a show unless I come out with security, but I'd like to see your material.
Oh my God.
That's actually even another example. A man who works on my show, a man named Josh Firestein, he was a booker for a comedy, a franchise of comedy clubs. When I performed at the Spokane Comedy Club, it was the first time they ever needed metal detectors and security. He'd been a booker there for many, many years. You had actual registered communists do comedy there. He was shocked and he was ready to hate me. He works for him. He works for me now because he saw why it was necessary. When you perform on stage, do you need metal detectors? Do you need armed security? I have since I was 19 years old doing comedy in clubs.
Oh my God. Are we supposed to feel bad for him right now? When you walk around like a dickhead, I don't know what you expect how you expect to get treated. We're supposed to treat people the way we want to be treated. When you walk around like a fucking asshole, I'm going to treat you like you're a fucking asshole. I'm sorry. What the hell is going on? I can't.
And I don't think I've said anything that necessitates that.
Oh, George was letting me know. I have class at 2.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So how do we fix this then?
Oh, I mean, I think when
How do we fix that? With our own individual behaviors. That's how we fix things, right? We have to be the change that we want to see. So, Stephen, if you don't want to have to walk around with security and you don't want, people to think you're an asshole, oh, I know what you could do. Not be an asshole. Not lie to people at the table with bullshit statistics so just to make your point fit. You can actually speak in a good faith conversation. Thoughts, ideas. Interesting. Right? Am I wrong? Ugh.
we need to have more civil discourse, I think.
Can't do that. We get shot.
Well, we can. We're doing it right now. Let's
With
not
the brigade.
be so pessimistic. But Stephen, come on, we have to change our attitudes about it. We can't constantly fixate on the negative stuff. I know it's important and it matters, but we can do it. And just as
I can do it with $250,000 of security. Most people don't have that.
Most people don't have that. And you talk about like fearing for your life.
Yeah.
I am a female pastor in Deep East, Texas. So on Sunday morning, I wait for that time when someone doesn't like what I said from the pulpit and comes up to me. So I too live with a fear, but it's different for me. And,
Do you have metal detectors and armed security?
we can't afford that at my church. We have an old person that sits at the front and says hi and tries to intervene in a way that would be appropriate of a Christian. We thought about bringing security to the church. We talked about it.
We literally can't have these discussions on our side unless we have it.
We have security.
It's a necessity.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And I think that's really unfortunate that it's gotten so bad. The state of our country is so bad that we can't even talk to each other without one side or the other having to provide ridiculous amounts of safety and security that maybe aren't even guaranteed.
No, it's true.
Right?
And I agree with you. It is terrible that we've gotten to this point.
Yeah.
It is terrible that it's exclusively incumbent upon one side to
And it's not. And that's what she has to go. It's not. It's not.
have these types
It's
of
not.
measures in place.
It's not.
Let me ask you this. Because again, I think that we both abhor political violence. Do you think that maybe when one side is being hunted, let's make no mistake, Charlie Kirk was hunted. When people showed up to my house to try and kill me, I was being hunted, right? Any conservative here is one viral tweet, one effective video away from being hunted.
Yeah.
Do we think that when that happens and we peacefully mourn the loss of one of our peaceful leaders and we are still approached with violence at memorials and at vigils with desecration, do you think that maybe the both sidesing it, saying it comes from both sides, is actually more harmful than productive? Because it will.
I 100% think when you say it's on both sides, that can be harmful. And that's exactly what they want right now. They fuck this. Oh, it's when Trump said that it came from both sides, that was harmful. Okay? That was harmful. And then now right now he's trying to say that, oh, if we say it comes from both sides, it's harmful. Fuck you. This is always when it's convenient for them. When it's convenient for them. No. I'm done. Nope. And this is the first person he's talked to. I don't even know how long I've been going. How long have we been sitting here? 51 minutes, and he has only talked to one fucking person so far, and I'm going to pull my hair out.
lets the side that's responsible for it off the hook, the clear aggressor?
Do I think it's more harmful to say that it's both sides?
Do you think it would be
instead of
more
holding them
helpful to
accountable?
call the left out and say, hey, you guys have been saying fascist, you guys have been saying Nazi, you guys have been saying genocide, sexist, and people believe it, and we're seeing political violence now that we both hate. Do you think that calling them out aggressively, rhetorically, might be more productive? Because it lets the side that's responsible for it off the hook, the clear aggressor?
Do I think it's more harmful
I
to say
hate him.
Saying fascist, you guys have been saying Nazi, you guys have been saying genocide, sexist, and people believe it, and we're seeing political violence now that
Okay, just so that we're like here in the clear, just so that I want to make sure that we're all understanding what it is we're watching right now. What he just said.
been saying fascist, you guys have been saying Nazi, you guys have been saying genocide, sexist, and people believe it, and we're
People believe it or people are seeing it? People are experiencing it. And are you upset that we're not going to allow ourselves to be bullied? Like, that's the problem I have with the right, is that when they face repercussions for things that they do or say, they get that suddenly they're the victim. And suddenly, fuck you. Fuck you. Steven Crowder's brought everything that he gets upon him fucking self, please. Whatever.
seeing political violence now that we both hate. Do you think
I can't. The political violence, it's like, dude, only can we say that if it's politically motivated. Just because someone decides to punch him in the face, does that mean that it would be political violence? What if they just didn't like his face? Right? I mean, reason enough for me, look at it. And then, what if someone, punched him in the face because, he said something religious that they didn't like, right? I don't know what to say. It's like, or what if it was someone on the right who feels you're making me look bad? Like, how do we determine the political violence? Like, according to him, it depends on if it can't be the left, it's just going to be, fuck him.
that calling them out aggressively, rhetorically, might be more productive than saying, well, I guess it happens on both sides right now?
No, I don't, because
Okay.
it kind of reminds me of therapy, where it's not necessarily helpful to point the finger in ways that are counterproductive. Not that I'm not opposed to holding people accountable, because that's a different thing.
No, I understand.
So,
Maybe
yeah.
let me ask you then this way, where you say pointing fingers. What is the reason that we record crime statistics?
I don't know.
So that you can go ahead and ignore them, Stephen. That's why. So that you can go ahead and ignore them.
Would you agree with the fundamental premise that its primary purpose is risk assessment in determining who's most likely to be victimized? For example, and I hear this from the left, transgender.
Oh, okay. So then, for instance, who would be more likely to commit a mass shooting? A white male. On the right.
Or gay sex workers are more likely to be targets of violence than heterosexual sex workers, right? Those studies have come out. And by the way, those seem to be true. So we go, okay, these people are more at risk. The reason for crime statistics is to assess where the risk exists. Otherwise, it serves no purpose.
Okay,
Would we agree with that?
fair.
Okay.
Sure, I'll trust your information on this.
Sure. So now she could say, great. So who's more likely to commit a mass shooting based on statistics? White male who's on the right, period.
Well, it's not information. It's just the reason. This is the why. Why else would we have crime statistics? Why would we record them? There's no reason. Just, okay, crime was committed. There's nothing we can do about it now.
I'll just have a history. Is another potential reason, but sure.
What's the
history.
value in a history?
But history's so important, Stephen. Come on.
In what?
History matters. Oh my gosh.
But history is important in what?
In everything, right? History repeats itself, but I think it holds to your point that
Yes.
history matters because you're saying
This is
we've
what
seen
you're
these
arguing.
You don't want to repeat.
violence events.
Yeah.
And we don't
You don't want to repeat negative history. So we agree.
Right,
That's the
right,
reason
right.
for crime
Risk
statistics.
assessment,
So
fine.
if
So
we look
I'm
at those
risk-
statistics,
I'm more likely to get shot right now if I'm in a school or a church. Okay.
and we look at the polls, and
Surrounded
we
by
see
white
a
men.
an overwhelming number of those on the left, at a ratio of 6 to 1, support violence compared to those on the right. and we see people being murdered in cold blood. If you are conservative, right-leaning in this country, and a public speaker, you are more at risk. How is that pointing the finger? It's identifying the problem and not repeating history, no?
If you're on the right, you're more at risk of being politically or violently attacked. I don't know if that's true. And also, who are you more likely to be attacked by? Because again, Trump, both assassination attempts were done by Trumpers, by people on the right.
Yes. Well, with data, sure. And data speaks differently than I think sometimes people do.
Sure.
You know, and so I think how data is presented matters a lot.
I agree.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I really have on that particular thought. Were you wanting?
Well, I think actually, going to that point, the data that's presented, for example, right now in the wake of the assassination, by the way, not just that, we haven't gone more than 3 days, but a serious liberal attack, but a serious leftist attack, meaning in the ideology of the left. You have it right here, ICE, that happened, ICE facility. Yet another one.
So people who attack ICE, it has to be a leftist ideology. That might not be a leftist. That could be a person on the right who just doesn't like seeing people get fucking kidnapped. Okay? Who doesn't like the idea that the government is coming in and policing full cities like this. This could be libertarians. Okay? Don't tread on me. What the fuck are we talking about?
In I believe, is it Alvarado or Alvarado? I don't know the right way to pronounce it. People were shot there. There's a bomb threat. The ABC affiliate. Okay, all right. It's like Houston and then New York, they go Houston. I'm like, I don't know the rules. So forgive me. And then I have French-Canadian mom, so I mispronounce things because she taught me.
Why is he bringing up the left for these murders? Were they politically driven? If they're not, then they shouldn't be on the table.
Nice. And then we look at the ABC affiliate, Jimmy Kimmel. We haven't gone more than 3 days. That's an acceleration right now. And the problem is, amidst that, the left is saying, actually, there's more political violence coming from the right. And that's what we've been hearing, and it's dishonest. In other words, data is being presented to the public deliberately, dishonestly, to victim blame. And that's something that we face too, where if you back people into a corner who are avoiding conflict, who are not violent,
Done with her because
there could end up being right-wing violence. And when that happens, it's very ugly, it's very effective, it's very swift. And the only way we avoid that is for the left to take accountability of it and for them to tone down the temperature. And by that I mean, right now, and this is where I show you, I think we both agree on this. So the two sources.
holy shit. All right, I'm going to set up somewhere else because I want to cook breakfast. Okay, we are back. I just wanted to make breakfast. So I'm like, okay, well, but I still want to watch this. So here we go.
The data, I don't care if you see my password, are the Prosecution Project, that's what's cited in The Economist and NPR and Cato. These are the ones where they say, hey, right-wing violence is more prevalent. I'm sure you've heard that. Let me show you what they don't include in the data, because like you said, people speak differently than data. Isn't this in Portland?
When was it?
Summer of Love, George Floyd riots. Aaron Danielson, shot point blank dead because he was a Trump voter. And the man, Reinhold, it was Michael Reinhold who shot him, told the cops, I got the Trump supporter, dead. We agree that's political violence?
Yes, of course.
Not a single one of these places cites it. It doesn't exist in their database.
The ones here in your black folder, but not here in this.
No, in there. You have all the sources.
Oh, these ones doesn't.
It's the same thing. The black folder is just those. Yeah. The point is they come from two places. TPP, the Prosecution Project, or a Cato study, which is reflected by the CSIS as well. Where Cato tried to say there's 6 times the amount of domestic terrorism deaths. TPP said right-wing general violence. By the way, all of them agree that in the last year, since Donald Trump has been elected, even now they agree 2 to 3 times more leftist violence than right-wing violence. But that was never included. In other words, when they say there's more right-wing political violence, that's not included as left-wing political violence. You know what else isn't? All the riots, the billions in damages, the 37 dead during the George Floyd riots, the thousands of officers assaulted, the thousands of casualties, that's not included. You know what else is included? Darrell Brooks in Waukesha, Wisconsin, who ran people over in the parade out of an exclusive defund the police, Black Lives Matter, anti-white, black supremacist ideology. That's why he killed.
Lie. That's a lie.
That's not included. I could go through example after example that where you would just as clearly agree that is political violence. I'm not trying to pick a gray one. It exists nowhere. So why do you think that wouldn't be included in the data?
People that were attacked at the BLM riots, they were attacked by the people on the right. He is such a fucking liar. Like that guy who ran through that crowd with his car. Yeah, that guy on the right.
Yeah. as left-wing political violence, because that's the number cited by the left right now to justify it.
I think we have so much data that it's hard to even, especially in the today's. Well, I don't know. That's weird because you're saying in the police reported call they said
He spoke to the police before they shot
so
him.
it's on a 911 call. That
So this is on
the Trumper.
Yeah, he was talking to the police. So
This
there's
is police cam video.
this is security camera video, and then I believe there's also police camera video and sworn testimony from the police. But he identified as 100% Antifa.
Yeah.
You can look at his social media. He went out there. There are even, I believe, interviews with this man before this was committed where he was talking about enacting political violence.
Yeah.
Did it? Clear as day. Are you a Trump supporter?
The other thing that needs to be recognized here is that just because someone's Antifa doesn't mean like they're in line with Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, not every Trumper is a racist, but every racist is a Trumper, right? Should I go ahead and assume Steve? Well, actually, he is definitely a fucking racist, probably.
Order. Yes, we've got a Trump supporter. Bang, bang, dead. All the studies from left-wing sources don't include that. Is that bothersome?
Yeah, I do think it is bothersome because we need to have the facts of the situations, any situation, regardless of where it comes from. And you talked about something you said earlier just reminded me of like the media is not portraying things accurately.
Right.
That's adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
It's adding so much fuel to the fire.
On that, we agree. And can I ask you, and this is, by the way, there's no wrong answer. This is just an opinion. Why do you think that wasn't included? Why do you think the examples that I gave you, none of them were included? But any example of white on black violence, even if it was a Democrat voter, was listed as right-wing. Any attack on a government building, even if it was Antifa, was listed as right-wing. Why do you think something that clear
Was not included.
Don't.
Would it surprise you if the authoritative source that's being cited, the prosecution project, the author of it, was actually arrested himself on January 20th protesting Donald Trump, committing crimes, and that entire day was also omitted?
What about
Probably
January?
not.
A member of Antifa who said we are an organized group and we confront fascists. That's the source that gets disseminated across. Seems like there might be a bias there.
I think
And these sources are being used.
she needs to just look at Steven and go, "Are you okay? Do you want to talk about something? What's going on?" Because I feel like your heart is hurting. This is all that I'm hearing. I hear a grown ass man claiming to be a victim of what, Steven? What's happened to you? Who hurt you?
Used to victim blame.
And I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't me talking shit about Charlie Kirk, his friend dying. Not at all. No. So nobody twist my words into that BS. But he's literally sitting here acting like, I can never go out in public again without security. I will never be ever able to have a normal life. You're fucking Steven Crowder. No one gives you shit.
Those on the right now. Where do you think those on the right go? We go, hold on a second, we're actually sitting down and having conversations, and we've been attacked and in some cases killed. And then you came to the memorials and the vigils, and you celebrated a majority of people on the left, not all, not yourself, but too many celebrated it.
I don't celebrate
No,
things that way.
but many did, and we both know that we saw
I
it.
know you're right.
And plenty didn't. Plenty of us didn't give a shit.
Right.
And then you came and blamed us and said, we need to tone it down, and told us that we're more violent with clearly dishonest stats. That's why I say that both sidesing it doesn't help, because you're backing people into a corner, not you, the left, with lies.
Yeah, I
At a certain point, they're going
Both
to push back,
sides, I don't like
and I'm
it
trying
either.
to avoid that.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
what
we're
do you think the
agreeing
answer is then?
I'll tell you what I think the answer is twofold.
That's where we're in agreement, Stephen. Yep, I don't like the both sidesing of things either. Because yeah, we agree on that. There's definitely not all the time as it could be both sides.
One, the leadership of the left and the majority of the left. I think that the majority of people who identify as liberal, the reason you get those numbers 62 to 65, depending on the day, whether it's Rutgers or whether it's YouGov, I think they support political violence to varying degrees because they actually believe that those on the right are fascist, are Nazis, are genocidists, are racist, are homophobic, are sexist, because every single member of the Democratic leadership has said so. Barack Obama,
I've never heard any of them say that, but I have definitely heard Steven Crowder say some shit that would make me think that about you. Is it the left that's portraying you that way, or are you just portraying yourself that way?
Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Walz, Bernie, Elizabeth Warren, every single one has made that comparison. I think it's incumbent upon the left to take accountability and say, look, we have gone too far here. This needs to be toned down. Of course, Donald Trump and his voters are not fascists who won't relinquish power because he can't deal with fascists at a ballot box. And then I think we also need to states need to take this upon them, need to change their soft on crime policy, the no cash bail, the IOU policy, where you can simply say, I'll be back in court. Before Charlie Kirk, right? The story in the news was Zarutska, the Ukrainian refugee who was stabbed on that subway in North Carolina by a black man, Carlos Brown Jr. He was let out 14 times. And the last time he was let out by a left judge in the name of social justice, he was deemed unfit to stand trial, but they let him go back out in society because he said he'd be back. Said he killed an innocent woman. You know why? Because, hey, justice is racist. I guess I don't know when it becomes racist, if it's at arrest number 11 or 14 or 6. But that needs to change. Those two things, accountability, change in rhetoric, ownership from the left, it will change the makeup of today's left, make us.
I won't disagree with that. That is exactly what needs to happen on the right. He's an idiot. I can't. These people are so in denial. They're in denial. Out of hundreds of attacks, 152 done by the right, 41 done by the left. Okay?
Safer, and needs to change soft on crime policy. And I also advocate that conservatives take an approach of ruthless, lawful self-defense, because we've afforded grace where it is not warranted. What I mean by that is people who attack me and my family, and many of my production members who've been attacked, violently assaulted, taken the high road for a very long time, and that's why these people feel so bold to come to our memorials and still commit attacks. They need to know they can't do that. I want the left to be able to get up and have these conversations with no security, as they often do. And I don't want anyone on the right to go and violently disrupt it. The left needs to be afraid to come into our groups and commit acts of violence, because we've watched entire cities burn down.
Did he just say the left needs to be afraid now? Okay. Okay. Or is it finally, for the first time, the right is afraid? Because usually they're the ones who are used to inflicting all of this scary shit onto people. I think Stephen just can't I think Stephen just can't take what he dishes out.
We watched our own die, and we watched it celebrate it.
This is his pissy pants tour, is what he's doing. This is my woe is me tour. This is my, feel bad for me tour. Pissy pants. This is it. Pissy pants tour, Steven Crowder.
And unless the left does this and takes this approach, it's going to get worse. There's no off-ramp. That's a genuine concern of mine. People are concerned about radicalizing, right? They talk about radicalization with echo chambers online. There's nothing more radicalizing than assassination and a party afterwards.
Yes, no, I agree with you.
That's why I'm sitting down doing this. And let people know that we're not afraid to have these conversations. Now, of course,
Steven, I gotta tell you, I'm just gonna say it. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for getting out of bed today and walking out into the world, walking out into public. Just sitting there on campus, having this conversation. I mean, a real hero. Wearing his bulletproof vest, because he's going to war, he's waging the war on women and others. You're a loser, dude.
we have bulletproof glass and flak jacket, and
Right.
it's sad that it's here,
Right.
but it's necessary. That's what I think.
Okay.
Would you disagree with any of those approaches? Changing the rhetoric, taking accountability, and stopping the soft on crime revolving door criminality policy?
I agree, the right needs to do all that.
This is hard, Stephen, because I just feel like we don't have enough time to even really dive deep into each
Well, those are two proposals.
issues. I know, but I just need more time to process and really consider and to understand what you mean exactly with each thing, because I don't want
No cashless bail.
no cashless bail.
Yeah, so you have to
Let's
post
start
bail.
with that
Okay,
one.
you have to post bail.
Post bail.
You committed violent crime, you have to post bail. You're in jail. You're not allowed out.
Okay, so no cashless bail meaning you're not allowed to
You're not allowed to get out without paying any bail.
without paying any bail and like
Three-strike policy as well.
Three-strike policy.
3 serious felonies, violent crimes.
Wait,
you
hold on, bail.
Yeah.
So you're saying if you can't make bail, you can't get out,
have to wait for your trial.
no matter what the level of the crime is.
No, if it's a serious felony.
Only if it's a serious felony.
Let's even start with
Do you understand what that means? That means that people who can't afford bail will just be stuck in there, and people who have money won't have to be stuck in there. See, that no cash bail thing, that just gets it in a way where he's talking about, see, now we'll have more black and brown people off the street. That's the mindset they have, because that's what they think of when they think of those groups. Because he's absolutely 100% a loser racist. I'm not kidding. This is what I think of Steven Crowder. I really do. And, sorry, I shouldn't be mixing while I'm talking, but I'm making avocado toast.
violent crimes.
Like
Felonies, violent crimes?
something like that.
Assault, armed robbery,
Okay,
burglary, battery.
I think I could probably get behind that.
Not a single leader in the Democratic Party is white.
Yeah.
That's not true, and I hate his face. He's just so wounded.
So we get behind that. No IOU policy for these criminals. You're deemed meant. Let's use DeCarlos Brown Jr. as a very clear example. We could use George Floyd as an example too. He was arrested 6 or 9 times.
Actually, I'm so
Okay, that's
I
fine.
have to go to
Okay, well, please peruse those sources. Your name is Christina. Let me get your last name so if I want to go see your material.
Yeah, well, I perform under a station, and I wouldn't say it anyway.
Could you write it down for me if I don't show it to anybody?
I will write it down for you, but you won't be able to find me. I'm not like a big, like,
Okay.
I just started a year or so ago.
Well, I was going to follow, maybe if I see it, send you some notes of encouragement because I could have used that when I was starting.
Okay, I'll
If you write it down,
I'll write.
Yeah, he really could have used those. Nobody wanted to help me though.
I promise you no one will see it.
Okay, but I don't know how you're gonna send me anything.
Well, just no vibes, I think is the term that's used now. I'll be watching, know that I'll be out there going like, hey, go get him.
Well,
But
this is my staging.
Okay.
So,
thank you. Thank you, Christina.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Good luck with this.
You too. God bless.
And I am, I just want to say, if it's really inappropriate, if anyone from the left of the modern is right, we shouldn't be celebrating death. We need to be working together and being united in these things. Together we stand, divided we fall.
I agree with most of that.
He doesn't agree with that. Right. I agree with most of that. No, what he wants is the left to be scared. That's it. That's what this is. His pissy pants tour.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Christina.
Yeah,
Be
thank
well.
you.
God bless.
My breakfast is almost done. I'm going to enjoy it. Then I'll be back. I can't do an hour and a half straight of Steven Crowder and his pissy pants tour. So we'll revisit this another time. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Please hit subscribe. I really, really, really want to make it to 1,000 subscribers. Woo! She's new. Help me out. That way I can flow through the algorithm easier. It'll be easier for you to find me. It'll even be easier for you to ignore me then too. Anyway, have a great day. See you later.